Hello, it's Jenny from Ginger Ninja Crafts, and I am here with my video for the January PT Tag Club, which is hosted by the very lovely Ashley over at Paper and Twine. And I think because there's 31 days in the month, is that even right? Yeah, I think we get 2 prompts. So this is the first prompt that I'm doing, and I may or may not get around to the second one. So the first prompt is Daisy, and I decided to use some inkiness. I thought a daisy is kind of white with maybe a bit of yellow and green, and I thought the complementary or contrasting colours to that, I never know which is it. The ones that go with that are kind of pinky. So I've gone with some shades of pinks and purples. So I've got seedless preserves, wilted violet, pickled raspberry, and worn lipstick. And I'm just inking those all over my tag for a start, doing a bit of ink blending. And I'm trying it just on a scrappy bit of paper that's I've been using anyway for a while this week. Because when I put my stamping mat underneath, it's got a bit of glare on it. So that's what I'm trying instead. See, let me know what you think. I actually don't think it's made that much difference to the blending I've done. So that's interesting. So I'm then going to just splatter some water on it. I'm not spraying it, I'm just going to kind of splat it because I want some different sizes of droplets, and I'm going to let that sit for a little minute. Now, partly why I'm letting it sit is because you can't hear, but there's just been a big clatter, which is the cat has knocked a wee candle thing off the spare bedroom windowsill, and I've had to go and investigate what's happened. He's run out the room looking very guilty, so nothing's broken. Cat is on one piece, candle is on one piece. All is good in the world. So then when I blot it, you can see it's picked up quite a lot of that colour, which is great. And then I'm going in with my, what are these called? Distress Spritz in saltwater taffy. I treated myself to 3 of these just at the start of the year. And again, I'm just kind of splatting it rather than spraying it and letting that sit for a wee minute. And then I decide I want to do a little bit of stenciling on top. So I'm having a rummage, and I've got one that's kind of splashes and splotches, and one that is sort of kind of crosshatch kind of texture. So I'm not too sure which I'm going to go with, but I think I decide to just stick to one to not make it too busy, and I'm going with the sort of crosshatch kind of textured look. And I've got my texture paste, which I had to buy more of just before Christmas, and it is from Artline Structure Paste. It's got quite a weird texture. It looks like bubbles, as if it's you know how when you put yeast in it kind of bubbles up. To me that's what it looks like, but it works very nicely. So while that's drying, I am going to work on my daisy. So this is a Tim Holtz Sizzix die cut, and I've cut it out once in white and once in black so that I can give it a wee shadow. And I'm just using some of my new Distress Oxide inks. I also treated myself to colour that daisy. So the colours I've gone for are Fossilised Amber and Maude Lawn, and just adding a wee bit of water and then painting on. And it's quite hard to see, isn't it, when I'm painting on the white over the white, but you should see that daisy start to appear as the colour goes on. I think I probably added a wee bit too much water to the inks. It's a bit pale, but that's okay. I'm just letting that yellow dry a wee bit before I want to go in and do a little bit more detail. So I'm just splodging a bit more on top of that centre, and then I'm going to add some little bit of yellow coming out from that centre along the petals, just to give it a wee bit of colour there. And then I think I need a bit of a darker green, so I'll wait for a rummage in my inky drawer and find, what is this one called? It's not actually an oxide, it's just a distress ink, and it is the, what is that? Peeled paint. It's so discoloured the top, it's hard to see, but I just put a little bit of that on just to add a wee bit of sort of veining on the leaves and a little bit of extra dimension to the stalk. Not to make it quite so flat, just, you know, with the one colour, all the one coat sort of thing. So yeah, that is that. So then I just finishing touches for that daisy, and that's how it's going to look when it's layered up. So I'm just seeing what's going on with that structure paste, and then getting ready to put it together, basically. I also had in my head that song, Daisy, Daisy, Give Me Your Answer, Do. I'm not going to sing it. You can all breathe a sigh of relief. Even the cats hate it when I sing in this house. Ozzy, if there's bagpipe music, he's out of there. He's like, no, thank you. Just not very patriotic, is it? And if I sing, he's like, oh no. I mean, it's probably a fair response, but anyway. So I'm cutting my little hole, or punching my wee hole in the top, and then I'm going to glue this daisy on. I don't think I want the full height of it, so I will leave a little bit hanging off the bottom for me to trim. And it's a really nice die cut, this one. It's came in a set. I think there's about 5 different flowers and or foliage in it, and it's really nice. I think he did a few different sets. I've got one that's like, I think it was called Funky Flowers, and I've got this one that are sort of kind of wild. Are they wildflowers? I don't know, but I've got it anyway. And then I decide I'm going to write a bit of Daisy Daisy along the tag just to make it even more daisy-ish. So I am doing that. I'm writing Daisy Daisy. Give me your answer, do, up the side, and then I just add Daisy Daisy in that bottom part. And then I do a little, I do a wee stitch detail, faux stitching around the exposed bits, so with the bits that don't have the writing, or where I can fit it in around that structure paste. And if you are doing anything doodling on top of sort of structure paste or mica or any of that, you just need to keep cleaning your nib so that it doesn't get blocked up with that. And then I'm thinking it needs something in the top, some kind of trim or ribbon or something, and it probably needs a bit of bling, I decide. And rather than going for my Nuvo drops, I decided to get out my box of bling, and I'm just pulling out a few different options that might fit the case. Fit the case? I don't think that's the right words. Speaking of not getting the right words, this was, I think, my best one yet. I was, yesterday morning, the curtains were open, I was in the bedroom, and Angus the cat is sat watching birds, and there was a pigeon flew past the window and he got very excited, and my husband said, oh, what was that? And rather than the word pigeon, which is what it was, the word penguin came out of my mouth. I live in the south of Scotland. We do not have any penguins, certainly not ones that fly at the first floor level. So never mind, eh? It was a bird, began with a P. You can't have everything. Then the finishing touch I'm doing is to add some of this little daisy kind of trim. I've had this in my stash for ages. I have used tiny little pieces of it, but oh, I love it so much. So I've just stuck it on with a bit of double-sided red liner tape because I don't have any fabricy kind of glue or anything. So I've put 3 down at that bottom. And then I'm going to add a little bit of trim up at the top. And it's a bit bulky, so I need to make the hole a wee bit wider, and then rather than normally I make a loop and pull the ends through, or I staple it on. So I decide I'm just going to put one side of it through and just tie a basic knot, which is what you're going to see me doing. But yeah, I quite like the background colours of this, the pinks and the purples, and I think that daisy does stand out against it, but it is quite bright. It certainly doesn't apply for the subtle, no, is it? Yeah, subtle is the other cue or prompt. It certainly does not work for that one, but that's okay. I need to get my thinking cap on and decide if I'm going to join in with the subtle prompt or not. But yeah, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a great day. Bye now.